I was inspired by the train level in Metal Slug X Level 3. Alright, well that's inspiration. I've never played Metal Slug X Level 3, so I'm gonna be curious to see how this goes. Supply train. Alright. I was expecting there to be a train. So far, there's no trains. There's a train. Alright. Oh. And everything changes. And a gun! Oh god. Give me the gun. Goodbye, gun. What's up, your groovy gadget? How you doing? That's why you need a gun. Who needs courage when you have a gun? Oh, that's... Really? Smart, but irritating when you, like, actively make it so people can't cheese it. But I do like gun. Could go for some kitchen gun. Oops. I thought I had more gun. The answer is a gun. And if that don't work, try more gun. Man, those TF2 Meet the Whomevers were so good. Heavies wasn't quite as good, but like, the Engineers was fantastic, the Snipers. Be polite. Be efficient. Have a plan to kill everyone you meet. Oh, Pokeys. Can I spin jump? No, you cannot spin jump with gun. That's an important detail when dealing with Pokeys. After Essex, it wasn't quite the same. It's true. Essex had really good guns. But here we are. That was a trap. Played Essex. It is indeed so much fun. Just waking up, reach for the summit. Oh yeah, is this Celeste music? One of these days I need to return to Celeste and try again. I think I played it briefly in 2021. And then never returned to it after the first stream. I got to the windy area. That's what I remember. I remember being annoyed at the windy area. My hand starting to hurt from pressing right too hard. Meet the Spies. Oh, Meet the Spy is so good. He could be you. He could be me. He could even be... He was the Red Spy! Etc. Made it Chapter 8 and just did not finish. I think that's a common issue I've heard from people. One of the people whose, I guess, blog I read, mostly because he only updates it like once in a blue moon, now that he's got like tenure and a kid and everything, so he doesn't really write much about puzzle hunts these days, was complaining about a specific escape room company and comparing their philosophy and Celeste. Yeah, Celeste was mentioned in the sense that, like, he got to Chapter 8, realized what he had to do, and realized he just didn't want to do it. I was comparing that to a specific class of escape room. I don't know. It's one of those, like, I don't know enough about the other weird escape rooms. I only ever do... Last time I've done escape room was at GDQ. SGDQ. We did the... whatever it was, the furry escape room company's interstellar emergency one. You were on like a starship and had to piece together a map to figure out the place you need to go or something. The plot doesn't really matter as much as the puzzles in these cases. But it's one of those things I could see doing at some point, but not anytime soon. I have other priorities, as it were. Always 6 throwers. But, anyway. Ten aesthetic points are very important for escape rooms. I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing about an escape room is, like, if I want to just go solve some puzzles, I just go solve some puzzles. Like, there's a million venues where I can just go solve some puzzles, right? I've got Puzzmo and things like that. I got Puzzle Boat. I got P&A magazines. I could just go buy an issue of Games magazine. Pick up a New York Times just for the crossword, etc., etc. Or the local whatever just for the crossword. It really doesn't matter. Everyone syndicates that particular crossword because it's the best one. But yeah, when you go to an escape room, you want a certain amount of, like, set pieces. You want to be doing more, like, pattern matching kind of nonsense as well. Like, I know some people who at the Mystery Hunt are excited whenever there's a cryptic, and good for them. But, like, I'm not that excited about a standard cryptic in the Mystery Hunt just because, like, it's a cryptic. Fun. I'm also lousy at cryptics. Just in general. They take a lot of time and effort to get good at. Never done an escape room. They're fun. Could a baseball stop a bullet? I would say, actually, yes. I think a baseball could stop a bullet. A baseball is largely made of cork, I believe, with a solid rubber center, and it's wrapped in leather. So there's a decent amount of mass behind it. And things that squish. Bullets are small, right? They don't have an awful lot of actual force behind them. They're small. Yeah, I think a baseball, if thrown by, like, a major league player at a speeding bullet, would stop the speeding bullet. There's also a key example, and one of my favorite things ever. I mean, it's terrible, but one of my favorite things ever is there was a baseball game where a pitcher. Okay. Through no fault of his own, a pigeon just got in the way, or a dove, I forget, and it hit his pitch. Like, it quite literally flew into his pitch and just exploded. It was just gone. Apparently highly traumatic. I can shoot upwards? That would have saved me some effort. Oh, thwomp. Oh, it's the big boys. Can I get up here? No. Here, we'll get him off, balance. It's okay. Spent a good amount of time looking at the easy puzzle you posted and had no clue what you're supposed to glean from it. Oh, which puzzle was that? Was that the ant one? If so, I feel a little bit bad, because, like, that one is actually really easy, and it's exactly what you think it is. I do know these guys. These are a Daiso invention. They're cool. And apparently that locked me. Alright, do you want me to explain? Because quite literally you have the answer right there in what you've set here. Yeah. I keep dying. Their stun time is much longer than when you use them? Yeah. I think it's configurable. Daiso likes to make things configurable. I'm gonna take one of these with me. Never a bad idea to bring yourself a brick. Tell you, okay, so the basic idea, he's a pig wearing a toga, that makes him a Roman pig. What do Roman pigs speak? They speak Pig Latin. If you say ante in Pig Latin, what is that in English? It's rant. That's it. It's, I still think, a really hilarious example. It was supposed to be a fish puzzle. The fish puzzles were supposed to be easy. Usually taking people maybe 15 minutes at most, unless, like, you had some things. Ranting ants. Yeah. I think it's cute. As far as Mystery Hunt puzzles go, though, that is definitely on the shallow end of difficulty. Not to say, like, I was looking at the 2006 one, and I was looking at some of them like, man, puzzles were easier back then. Part of it is just differences in how they expect people to collaborate and the tools we have to do these sorts of things. 2006 was slightly before Google Sheets was released. And Google Sheets have become critical for puzzle solving for most people in collaborative groups. That is a long stun timer. I could just get a shell. Dang it. Something you'd have gotten there. That's fair. I mean, I think also it's kind of important to have been primed to know what you're looking for, right? A mystery hunt puzzle frequently has one answer, or multiple answers, or no answers. But typically one answer. One single word or small phrase. Sometimes that phrase can be cluing something else, like... Oh god, there was a really awful one, the 2004s. Or 2003s? 2005. No, 2004s. Was like, the guillotined paraphism. And what you were supposed to guess that was a cryptic clue telling you to behead erection. So it was the word rection, which I don't think is a real word. That particular hunt had a lot of answers that had that problem. Or had a specific variant spelling like Barnaby's, which is a obscure-ish medieval term for gargoyle. And I know I'm not pronouncing it right. It's like Barnwabies, because there's like extra W's and everything because of older English. That didn't help the situation. That didn't help the situation either. I don't like where I'm at. Later mystery hunts have had much better quality assurance than that one. I can only point to maybe one or two that have had really lousy quality assurance past that one. Coin Heist was probably the example. Everything was just a lot harder than it needed to be in Coin Heist. It did have a few really intriguing puzzles. There's one that Snyder still thinks about periodically, the Infinite Cryptogram, which it was a box on a website. You gave it a number, and it would give you some letters. And what you had to realize was, like, it was a... God, how would you phrase this? Like, basically, it was a stream of data where everything was encoded, like, 5 levels using NATO alphabet nonsense and substitution cipher. So you had to be really smart about where you were, like, probing to get your next letter. And you ran into issues with the fact that PHP doesn't support numbers above a certain extent as integers, unless explicitly typed as integers. And so, like, instead what you end up with is it gets converted to a float, at which point your precision is shot, because of course it is. But, yeah, 2006, one of the earlier puzzles. One of the reasons I was actually learning that one was because I wanted to look at the, it was a puzzle involving video game maps. And quite literally, it was just like, here are some locations in video games. You could tell what video games they were pretty easily. Like, there was Super Metroid and Chrono Trigger. I want to say one of the 3D Zeldas, but I couldn't tell you which one. And amusingly enough, Peasant's Quest, a game that was on the Homestar Runner website. But basically, you just needed to figure out where these things were in the world map and do a dot-to-dot puzzle. And that was it. It just spelled out an answer. Each single game gave you a meaningful letter. It was fun, but again, like, that was pre-Google Sheets, so we did it differently back then. So, fun fact, most teams for the Mystery Hunt nowadays sort of have their own puzzle management software. Codex kind of led the way there by building what we call Blackboard, which is built off of a very odd JavaScript stack called Meteor, which I don't think I've seen ever used anywhere else, but because it came out of the MIT AI labs, and I think one of the guys was involved in it, we ended up using. But that's not the most important thing about it. Before that, we used... And this is the best one. We just used AIM. We had a wiki, and we used AIM. It was unique. Basically, we used specially named channels in AIM, and that would be the channel for the puzzle. And the likelihood of anybody just randomly intruding upon these channels is pretty low, because you'd have to know what you were looking for. Oh, that's just a thing. I don't want to actually do that. Which I think is just funny. Alright, we got a boost. It's a classic. Boost plus Eries. It's not a bad way to go. Like, I'm never going to be excited to see this, but it's not a bad way to go. I'd rather see this than Undine any day of the week. Oh, there. But wait, there's more. Okay, I'm more excited now. More gun. This level keeps going. Generator? Friggin' generator. Okay. It's the caboose. Caboose. Oh! If that was intended, I feel dumb now, but I like it. God, I love the use of generators here, so I never know exactly whether or not I'm gonna die when pushed back with the gun. With a crab that throws rocks? The crab that throws rocks is okay. Not my favorite. Claw grip. I don't actually mind the piranha plant boss, depending upon what the environment you're fighting him in is. It very much depends upon it. Same could basically be said for Undine, but I find Undine even less interesting. Ow. Piranha plant crashes. Sauna Gnome. I don't remember seeing any kind of sauna gnome in any Mario hack that I'm aware of, but I don't have any qualms against saunas or gnomes. Except possibly David the. Might have been fixed. Honestly, I don't know. It might be one of those like SA1 conversion things where the conversion wasn't perfect. Like, it's kind of hard to figure out the intent of a programmer such that you can just use their code with the simple SA1 auto-conversion. And of course, like, there are certain things you can't really do that work right from that side of things. You can't modify WRAM values, which is kind of a big deal. Forget the name of the hack, Super Sauna World? I might have played Super Sauna World. No, wait, I played a level that had Sauna in the name for a QLDC or a WLDC. I don't think I played Super Sauna World. Essex had a really good custom boss. I enjoyed both the Mario girl at the end and the Chirno boss in the middle. And the ridiculously awesome, just to be completely honest, helicopter fight in the middle, especially if you get the version where it's not going to cause you epilepsy. Something, 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 thank you, Max. Every single boss was awesome. Those were just the ones I remembered. There might have been more. Imagine. No, that's fine. Ow! The three guys at the end. Might not remember the three guys at the end. It's been like a year. I'm still annoyed that Nintendo decided to take that video down. It's like one of the few times I'd put effort into making a thumbnail. I'm not sure why it was me and why that won. It was basically like, we own Mario World. Okay, you do. I can't stop you. Don't know why that one was the one thing. I mean, they looked at the rest of my channel. They could have just said, no, we own your channel now. Oh, except the Sierra games. You can keep those. But that was dumb. Anyway. It was thinking today what things I need to do, and I realized that the time before C3 is becoming very narrow. So I need to sit down and port my thing that I wrote in Python a while ago over to C#. And get that tested and working. Because I actually had another idea about how to make something work. But we'll see. There's a non-trivial amount of, like, just code I have to write first, and I've decided if I'm going to write this, it's going to be .NET 2.0 compatible, so I can run it on my Windows 98 machine. Because I think that'd be really funny. Okay. On my best run, that's what got me last time, was the piranha plant there, so I did want to make sure I killed it. Oh, Pokeys. I'm sick of these Pokeys on this. I don't know how I'm gonna make that work. Monkey fighting snail train. Plugging into the end, that might be the coal box. 5. Yeah, no one ever goes for 2s. No one ever goes for 2. What ID would I even use? Visual Studio 2008 Express. Here we are. It's Boom Boom. You know, it occurs to me there aren't and there wasn't a single power up in this entire level. I guess the gun counts as a power up, but I'm thinking more traditional power ups. All right, Boom Boom. No, just shut you right down. I kind of like this Boom Boom. I believe he was also another one of the Mad Scientist competition thing. You have one VM with that. You know, I just went out to archive.org and found an old CD. Installed it. It works. I have a non-trivial number of weird old installations of Visual Studio on this machine now. Because I wanted to write something that would... I wanted to write some C code that I could compile on and run on Windows 98. And I think I never quite got it to work for some reason. Oh, God. Then I found a tool that actually did what I needed to, and that solved my problem. And it was a pain to even get it to compile with the specific API I wanted to use, because the Win32 API that I wanted to use had been deprecated at some point. In this case, I don't really need to worry about Win32 APIs. This should be straightforward if I write it in .NET. But we'll see. Switch to separate folders, you're gonna have old stuff like that side by side. It is nice. I think that happened older than you think, though. What I think is hilarious, though, is, like, you really do need the old versions of the IDE and compilers sometimes if you want to make old code compile. There are certain assumptions that don't move forward well enough, unfortunately. Bonk. Alright. Bonk. Lava Lotus time. This is the one that got me on my last good run. I thought that might have been the last one. There we go. Train orb. Trorb, as you will. How to divert crystal reports to Power B1. That was I don't even know what Power B1 is, or Power by, huh? Never used crystal reports. Ridiculous. Anyway, that was a fun level. I would say it's a bit repetitive in places because of the train design. Like, quite literally, an awful lot of it was just, here is the flat train. I would have liked to have seen at least a little bit more variety, because most of it was just like, I used the gun to clear the way for me. And then some of the more open areas were more difficult and interesting, but like an awful lot of the like box cars were just kind of felt copy and pasted, plus or minus things like, oh look, now we have the Koopa generator. Okay, cool, whatever. Microsoft offering a reporting tool. But yeah, that level was alright. Not a bad level. Kind of fun.